cries, begs for forgiveness, but I hear nothing. More crying and cursing until I tell her we're over. Welcome back to They Did What? Your source for the internet's craziest, most entertaining stories, where I go over them, analyze them, and most certainly make fun of them. Today, I'm going to go over a story titled, I found my girl from 8 years cheating SCX tape. Her family, close friends, and the cybercrime police are involved. I'm effing numb. And a shout out to Sophia for sending this story. I got one of my female subscribers jumping in. And guys, this story is all about a guy, again, with his girl for 8 years. Really thought she was this beautiful, amazing, wonderful, God's gift to the world. And then lo and behold, one of his buddies informs him, sorry bro, but your girl's online doing Lord knows what and ain't with you. And let's just say, guys, as you can probably imagine, is really destructive to this guy. However, our guy here is no fool, and he's done with her. And let me tell you, if things bad for him, wait to see when she finds out about this, as well as her family and all that. And it just goes to show you guys, no matter how safe you may feel or how wonderful you think your relationship is, these things can happen, and you just got to pay attention and handle things accordingly. Now, before I jump into this, before I forget, quick announcement. For all you guys out there that are on X, formerly Twitter, as of yesterday, I'm now on there as well. To no surprise, YouTube is not exactly very friendly to my channels or other channels like mine these days. And from what you guys have been telling me in the comment section or emails, they're not getting notifications when new videos are popping up or you can't find me. So obviously something's going on. So I'm now on X, and every time I have a new video, I'm going to announce it, have a link to that as well as other things. So definitely if you're on that particular social media, definitely follow my channel. The handle is SSM Channels. So it's a hub for all three of my channels. Strong Successful Male, right here They Did What, and Hit the Bricks. And that way then, I can get, I can market the business a little bit more, hopefully through shares, more people will follow me, because obviously Big Brother isn't helping too much. So if you guys can jump in, take a moment to subscribe or follow, whatever you want to call it, big help to me. Okay, on to the story. It says here, almost 3 weeks ago, a good friend of mine, Alex, and an acquaintance, Mike, got a hold of a video of my girlfriend, Jamie, effing another man. Oh, man. Mike found this by browsing through PORN sites with niche themes and by chance recognized Jamie. Oh, yeah? Okay, we all want to know what niche themes are these particular things this girl's doing. Got into contact with Alex about it, where both of them told me about the infidelity. When Alex and Mike told me, I went somewhere between shock and numb. I couldn't really say anything until I saw the video, where I proceeded to puke my guts out. I couldn't even sit through a minute of it. The fact that it was edited to go straight into the action with Jamie's face clearly visible didn't help. Can you imagine? I mean, really, guys, can you imagine this? You're with your girl for 8 years, and your buddies are like, oh, dude, I got something to tell you. And lo and behold, they send you a link, and there's your girl. You probably thought you were going to marry. We drove to Mike's house, and Mike home, and Alex had the good sense to force me to spend the night at his place rather than go home, where I share an apartment with Jamie with no idea how it would end. Not a bad idea. It could end up pretty bad. We shared some beers, mostly in silence. Alex did try to make me open up on what I felt about Jamie's infidelity, but I was just numb. What the fuck do you think I feel about it? You think I'm happy about it? My silence should say everything. Me barfing my brains out earlier. I didn't know what I felt, and I told him so. I felt like wading through water with no thought in mind other than what was in front of me. Alex didn't force anymore, and I passed out sometime later. When I woke up, I recovered enough sense to realize that our relationship was most likely over. Most? What do you mean, most? She's on freaking video with some other dude. I mean, come on here. Unless you can prove it's some AI thing, and I'm sure that's not the case. It's over. But he's hurt and he's just destroyed, so, he'll come to his senses. Well, I go straight home through public transport, most likely brooding or looking pissed off. I wonder what the other passengers thought when they saw me looking like crap while trying to emulate Batman. Who cares what they thought? Well, I get home and catch her getting ready to go out and ask me where I was and why didn't I contact her. Yeah, I noticed he didn't say anything about her 50 missed calls wondering where he was all night. She's probably like, oh, he's not home. Great, I can make some more spicy videos or something. I didn't bother answering and just told her we needed to talk. We sat down facing each other at the kitchen table, and I pretty much broke the dam. A lot of stuff happened, a lot of harsh words was said, accusations, and blame. Don't tell me she's blaming you for something. She blamed you for her cheating. Too many details to describe, but essentially, I immediately broke down in tears and asked her how the F could she ruin a relationship that we worked so hard on. She confused, wanted an explanation, and I dropped the bomb and showed the video. So even then, what, you think she forgot she was doing those videos? Or cheating? Come on here. She cries, begs for forgiveness, but I hear nothing. More crying and cursing until I tell her that we're over. That was it, and she just shuts down. She slumped down and closed her eyes, still crying, but says nothing. Okay, well, if the crying and begging doesn't work, okay, I'm now going to pretend a mental episode. This gets me out of my anger, and I try to figure out what she's doing. Talking to her, hard and gentle prodding, nothing. Absolutely unresponsive, so I drag her to our bed and lay her there. I go back to our kitchen and call her parents, Alice and Julio. I simply told them that they need to come and that their daughter is suffering a mental breakdown. I say nothing more than just telling them they need to see us and see what's happening and need to be face-to-face to explain. Yeah, it's obviously over, but they share a place together, and he needs, obviously, them to help get her out of there and all that, whether she's faking it or not. No need to mention the video just yet. I shut my phone off, go back to the kitchen, and think about what the hell just happened. Her parents rush to our apartment, demanding what the F happened, and I don't tell them about Jamie's infidelity, but just say she needed mental help. She's on the bed, acting comatose, but otherwise okay. They couldn't bring her out of it, and eventually I had to explain. I didn't want to do it without Jamie being able to explain herself. Smack! Dude, what do you mean have her explain herself? There's videos that are online. And it's like she was way younger before we got together. Come on, dude. I showed them the video, and they're heartbroken, and told them we had an argument. I didn't hurt her, but she probably couldn't handle the stress and broke down. They decided to bring Jamie to her university's mental health clinic. I decided not to go with them. Not your problem anymore. Well, obviously, again, this guy is going to roller coaster of emotions because he's been with her 8 years. The next day, Jamie eventually wakes up. She's stable and responsive. There she says that the video was not consented. Her family decided to report this to the cybercrime police. I don't care if it wasn't consented. You're still cheating on me, not to mention probably doing all sorts of stuff that makes me want to barf again that you wouldn't do to me. Jamie's family didn't grill her with her mental state being the way it is, but her parents are obviously ashamed and aren't sure what to do other than what the psychologist recommends, which is to let Jamie rest for a while and support her until they're sure she doesn't implode, and then was sent home to her parents. This was all relayed to me by her older sister Jackie, who's trying to be the mediator. She asked me if I really was going to end the relationship. What do you think, you idiot? I responded that I'm not sure if we can even salvage it. There's no way to salvage this thing. 2 days later, Jamie's parents asked me to visit them for a talk. I agree and go to the next day. Jamie's parents and her older sister are present. We go to their living room and sit down. They look sad and tired, and I felt the same. Jamie will be the last topic of our discussion. First is me. They wanted my parents to be involved. I felt disrespected, as we're already adults, plus me and my father are tense, but I relent and I'm already tired and a bit out of my depth. Marriage was in discussion in the past after all. It's not his parents' fucking business. Now, by the way, what I pieced together, this guy isn't from the US of A. He's from another country. Definitely a different way of doing things here, which I think that's why they're bringing in the parents, because I guess these two are going to get married or something. First, we talk about Jamie. She's stuck in her room, miserable and ashamed, but otherwise okay. Not my problem. You're lucky I'm here talking to you people. She'll stay with her parents for now. When she's needed by the police, she can stay with Jackie in a hotel. They understand I need space. They submitted a report to our city cybercrime office. They live 1 to 2 hours away in the suburbs. I'm needed for the investigation. I explained that I wasn't the one who found the video, but I'll try to get Mike involved. They apologize for Jamie, but I tell them that she's the one who needs to apologize and they shouldn't baby her. Thank you. Exactly. She's going to ride this thing out long, you know it. They agree, but beg me not to argue right now since Jamie may relapse. Yeah, of course she's going to have a relapse when she realizes she's not going to get her way and get dumped. They explain her psychologist's assessment. According to the psychologist, a spontaneous nervous breakdown, no history of mental illness, concluded to be caused by accumulated stress from her studies and acute stress reaction from our argument. I don't think this supposed reactions from stress from studies or their argument is that she got caught online for the world to see forever, including her grandkids of her probably with some Chara Tyrone's you know what in her mouth. That's what probably caused her to freak out. She needs rest in a safe environment. Psycho must call the cops on me, but they convinced him not to, with no physical trauma observed, and gave up. They wanted to call the cops on this guy. He's the boyfriend. He's not the one that posted the video online. That's not his you know what you see in the video. They want to blame him. How easy and convenient. The discussion devolved to apologizing, tears from Alice especially, and other noise. But they did want to take charge of everything. The investigation, Jamie's well-being, her education and finances, etc. I was kind of washed up of everything. 8 days later, Alice calls me in the middle of the night, begging me to see Jamie. Not your fucking problem. It's over. Apparently a depressive episode, kitchen knife, locked in the bathroom yelling for me. Worst hour of my life. Bro, stop getting involved. Notice this is escalating on her part, on the ex-girlfriend's part. The first tactics didn't work, so now she's locking the bathroom with a kitchen knife, screaming and carrying on. I'm pretty sure I almost died twice on the road and glad that my country isn't developed enough for highway cameras. So he's in a different country. I meet Alice and Jackie outside the house waiting for me. Jamie has mostly calmed and Julia with her in her room. They begged me to go see her with how bad the situation looked, and I rushed to Jamie. Smack! Dude, you're too nice. Apparently she's an effing wreck. Looked like her blood's been drained and hasn't slept in a while. She starts crying the moment she sees me and reaches out her arms. Bring on the waterworks. Whatever anger, exhaustion, anxiety melted away, and I embrace her. Smack! That was her whole plan. She kept apologizing and begging me to stay. I shush her and hold her tight. She eventually goes to sleep, and I take a moment to think about what's happening. I'm gently felt heartbroken seeing her like this. This is not how I thought we were going to be together in the future, much less this Christmas. I'm losing my best friend and would have been partner for life. This was the person who helped me through my depression when even my own family dismissed it. She's even the one who made me make journals to help process what I go through. Yeah, and that's great. But you weren't cheating on her when she was helping you. It's actually ironic how she's the reason how good I can write now and the details of her affair and how bad it affected me. She's not evil. She's a beautiful, patient, and overall wonderful human being. Smack! Apparently not, dude. You still see her as the person you thought she was, not who she really is. A beautiful, patient, wonderful human being would not do this to their boyfriend of 8 years who they plan on marrying. I'm thinking of all the stuff we've been through, what we've done for each other. If I were to list all of it, it would probably reach twice the word count for my post. I love her and was prepared for a life with her and face everything that comes with it. Yeah, face everything that comes with life, like job losses and deaths in the family and illnesses, not her cheating on you and having the video go online. That's not what you're talking about. And she destroyed it. I wake up before her and go to the kitchen for coffee. Jackie is there and explains that she had episodes twice before, and this was yet the worst one yet. All of us except Jamie talk on what to do. Alice is in chemo for breast cancer, Julia runs a business 20 minutes away, and Jackie's workplace is already hounding her, and Jamie needs help. Not your problem. The situation is effed up and everyone is exhausted. Jamie needs therapy, and I implied mental institution that almost got my head torn off, but no one can look after her 24/7. Man, they're giving him a hard time, and he's there helping when he shouldn't be. Or certainly no one can blame him if he wouldn't. They asked me to reschedule the inevitable and try to help her. There were definitely some emotional manipulation, but they are desperate. Due to my obvious lingering attachment and my own respect and love for these people, I agree. And this is where I fucked up. I go home and talk to Mike about the investigation. He agrees to talk to the cops. I call Alex and explain all the BS that's happening. He warns me that this doesn't sound like the right call. A mental institution is probably the best, and I'm just going to get hurt. Regardless, he still stands by my decision, and I call when I need him. Well, your friend's right, but okay, the guy's sticking with his bro regardless of him disagreeing with his decision. Let's see if inevitably the mental institution is going to be the place where she's going to be. I've already scheduled a consultation for therapy, and Jamie will have a different one scheduled 3 days from now in my city. I just really want to take a long nap and get away from all this. Well, that's the funny part. He could just get away with all this like that if he chooses to. But the guy's a far nicer individual than I certainly am, and most of you. Now on to his update, and let's just see if things are going to get better. It says, it's been 2 weeks since my last post where I got proceeded to get my ass handed to me. I'm not complaining. You guys are right. I do need to leave and start living my own life. Thank you. Whole comment section's full of dudes saying that. A lot has actually happened since then, but thankfully most of it's boring, sad, and disappointing. I got myself a behavioral therapist, which is something I should have done a long time ago. I have different problems unrelated to this that Jamie did help me through most of but professional really doesn't make a difference. It gave me a lot of hard questions, important questions that forced me to put my life into perspective. It was a liberating experience. Yeah, something like this can certainly make you evaluate your life and where it's going. I finally talked with my own family about this. For context, I'm not very close with my actual parents, particularly with my father. Broken home and all that. I consider my aunts, my father's 4 sisters, who stepped up to take care of me as a child, to be my real parents. So if I mention family, I really mean that my 4 moms. Well, that's great you got support and family and all that, but I wouldn't be going to other women for advice about women. We all know that's a terrible idea. Well, it turns out they were more involved than I thought. Jamie talks to them. She loved talking with them about me and our relationship, and they got closer to her for it. She asked so many questions about me, what I liked, food, hobbies, what my childhood was like. She'd ask advice from them about so many things. What to do when I get pissy, how to get my ass moving, all that cute stuff. Around a year ago, when they noticed I started acting positively when they played around the topic of marriage, Jamie and my family started to get ready. 3 of them have families with at least 3 children each. So to help ease the accommodation, they save money to pay for themselves, and anything extra goes to the wedding, to us, and whatever afterwards. These are his aunties. They're saving money for their wedding. Gee, they're eager to get him married off. They've actually talked about engagement rings. Calling them disappointed is an understatement. With this bullshit happening now, they opted to give me half of what they saved for the marriage to help me out, and offered to take me back again, which truly is a massive help. Whoa, they're offering to give him all this money they were going to use towards his wedding? I mean, that's very kind and generous, but I'd be like, that's your money. No. My biggest problem with this whole situation is the source of income. I didn't have a job lined up out of my city, and I still don't, and my savings are meager. With all that settled, I get my employer my resignation letter, cancel my lease, and have by the end of the month to sort my affairs. I'm leaving for good. Good. It's over. I'm sorry, dude. I'm sorry you dedicated 8 years of your life to this chick, and you thought that, you were going to marry her, but you can't be with her. Not to mention, she's mental. She's going to the loony bin. It's only a matter of time. With all that settled, I gave my employer... I read that part. As for Jamie, I gradually stepped up of whatever has been happening with her and around her. I talked with her family, or more like told them that I'm leaving. I gave them info about a psychiatric hold and made them handle her appointments with a psychologist and whatever else she needs. It was a sad affair, really. There you go. She's not my problem anymore. I did more than I should have. Thank you for being kind to me all these years, but it's over. Here you go. I know it doesn't seem like it, especially with Alice and Julio making me stay and take care of Jamie, but this is the first time for all of us. They raised 4 great kids, their relationships are great, and they even extended that to me, even when they barely knew me. Jamie fucked up the worst, and this isn't something anybody can expect anyone else to handle with ease and grace. I mourn my loss of my potential family that I could have been proud to have. For the piece of shit who filmed her, now we're getting onto the guy she was cheating with. I still haven't confronted her about it, but Mike and Jackie share what she told the police and how the investigation's going. Apparently, it was a Korean national she says she met on social media for a fling. Still think she's so great, wonderful, and beautiful, dude. She said they only hooked up one time, but that was immediately shot down. The video showed 2 different, distinct rooms and got pressured to admit it when it was that case. And they can get anything like CCTV, social media posts, logbooks, witnesses, and all that. One hotel still had recordings that day. 2 hotels with long logbooks containing names and dates and their DMs. She didn't mention grape, blackmail, or drugs in play, only mild intoxication, which was all obvious in the video apparently. So I like how she said only happened one time. Well then guess what? This proved to happen more than one time. And who's to believe that this was only the only time? Everything but the recording was consented. There were some possible routes to take in terms of damages, but when a lawyer got contacted, it was pretty much dead in the water. Yeah, if he's from another country and he's no longer there, good luck getting him. It says here, the piece of shit being a Korean national currently in Korea muddied the legal waters. They can do nothing else other than contact relevant Korean authorities, gather as much evidence and wait. But the lawyer wasn't confident anything might stick. As far as they know, they have no evidence that it was even the piece of shit who set up the cameras, beyond that piece of shit stayed that night before, and the cameras are obviously long since gone. There are far too many angles for the piece of crap can play and delay or even win any lawsuit that reaches him. It will most likely be expensive, drawn out, and with very little chance of winning, so they gave up that route. The piece of shit is getting off scotch-free. Dude, that dude who was banging your girl and recorded it and put it online, yeah, he's a piece of shit. But guess what? Who's also a piece of shit? Your fucking girlfriend, who you thought you were going to marry and was so amazing and wonderful, all behind the scenes. And she had to lie about it to the last minute. Only happened once. I have a hard time believing this was the only time. It says, why did Jamie do it? I don't know. Of course you don't know. She's got to probably tell you she doesn't know. Before, I didn't have the guts to ask her. Now it doesn't really matter to me. I'm not as exhausted as before, and my mind's been clearer. I'm leaving for good regardless of why she did it. Thank you. Doesn't matter why she did it. She did it. I can just walk straight out with no explanation, or maybe leave a letter for her, thanking her for the wonderful time we spent together, the love we shared, and a final goodbye. I'm romantic like that. Smack, dude, don't be a jackass. The love you shared clearly wasn't so loving and great if she was actively looking for guys to hook up with. Still, I decided to handle this with as much grace as I can. I'll help when worse comes to worse, don't lay blame on myself or her family, and not even mount pressure on Jamie for ruining everything. Not for Jamie, but for my own twisted self-gratification, that I did all what I can be expected and more. I will leave with my back straight and nose held high. Okay, Mr. Nice Guy, you're allowed to be selfish in this situation. Funny enough, this did eventually show me how lucky I am despite everything. Yes, the love of my life cheated on me and had the audacity to throw a tantrum over it. My future's looking a little bleak. I found out so much repressed anger and anxiety from my shitty childhood, but I'm still doing pretty great. Okay, good. That's good, bro. Take it one day at a time. You seem like you're handling it pretty well. I got family that loves me, friends that have my back, and despite her betrayal, brought out the best of me with wonderful memories along with it. I have nothing to be ashamed of and can say with pride that I was a wonderful boyfriend. Well, I'm sure you were. Hopefully this will be my last update. If not, the next will be far more boring and less mouthy. Well, that was his last update, so that's the end of that. But anyhow, there you go, gentlemen, and my 4%ers out there. You always pay attention. Don't ever feel too safe. You just never know what can happen behind the scenes. Well, and to the end, you had to thank her for the great years we had together and the love we had. Dude, I know you're trying to feel better and try to see the silver lining here, but she wasn't that great. You know, sounds like her family prior to this was far better to you than her. You know, you went above and beyond. You didn't have to do that. So you know what? Who knows what happened to these two? But the point is, guys, if somebody that you care about and love treats you like this, you don't have to stick around. You don't have to try to help them through their mental episodes and stuff like that. Move on. End of story. And something tells me once she finally realizes this guy's out of the picture, I think she's going to have a miraculous recovery and be just fine. I think all of this, what she was doing, probably was just a desperate attempt to keep this dude in her life, avoid consequences, avoid being yelled at by her family, all that. But I'm a cynical bastard at 47 years old, so that's just me. All right, guys, that's it for today. Be sure to comment down below. Let me know what you think about this. Guys, do you think that she's faking it the whole time? Or do you really think she's having a mental episode? I'd like to hear about that. And also, guys, you find a good story to share, send it my way. strongsuccessfulmale@gmail.com. Just give me some time to get to it. I definitely will. And be sure to like the video, share with your friends, and subscribe. I'll catch you next time.